Hello, my dear Capricorns. You are on the Astrology Path channel, and today we are talking in detail about March 2026, a month that becomes a time of inner maturity, rebuilding your foundations, and quiet but very important decisions. This is a period when life does not push you forward with sharp events, but seems to slow down so that you can truly hear yourself and understand what you are standing on and where you want to move next. Capricorn is a sign of responsibility, structure, and long-term endurance. You know how to be patient, persevere, and go step by step even when the path is difficult. But March 2026 offers you an unusual task, not to tighten control or take on even more, but instead to relax inner tension and look at where you have long been living on overload. This month is not about achievements or proof. It is about the foundation, about what is under all goals and ambitions. The general background of the month for Capricorns is inner deepening and a review of habitual reference points. Planetary energies seem to mute external noise so that you can ask yourself honest questions. Where am I now? What is truly important for me? Which goals are really mine? And which were chosen out of duty or the expectations of others? In March, life does not demand quick answers, but it demands sincerity. During the month, several key houses are activated at once. First of all, this is the third house of thinking and communication, the fourth house of family and inner support, the sixth house of health and daily rhythm, and the ninth house of meaning and life direction. All these areas will be closely intertwined. Changes in thoughts and decisions will affect home and family. The state of the body will reflect inner processes, and questions of meaning in the future will arise not from logic, but from deep sensations. The third house makes March very sensitive in terms of information and communication. You may notice that usual conversations are tiring, and the words of some people no longer resonate. There may be a desire to explain less and be quieter. This is not closedness, but inner tuning. You begin to hear yourself more carefully, and this changes your attitude toward words, promises, and agreements. March teaches Capricorns to speak only what truly matters and not waste energy on empty talk. The fourth house raises topics of home, family, and emotional security. In March, you may feel a desire to spend more time at home, organize your space, or simply be in silence. Memories of the past, conversations with parents, or the return of old family topics are possible. But on a deeper level, this month speaks not so much about the external home as about the internal one. Where do you feel safe? What do you rely on when no one expects results or achievements from you? March gently shows that true stability is born not from control, but from acceptance. The sixth house reminds you about your body and routine. If you have long ignored fatigue, worked without breaks, or taken on too much, in March, your body may ask for attention. This is not a crisis or weakness. It is an invitation to care. This month, it is especially important to review your life rhythm, sleep, nutrition, and workload distribution. Even small changes will have a noticeable effect. March is not suitable for sharp career leaps, but is ideal for organizing order and completing old tasks. The ninth house brings questions of meaning and direction. You may feel that previous goals no longer inspire as they once did. This may cause slight anxiety, but in fact, it is a sign of growth. You are outgrowing old reference points. March does not require immediately choosing a new path. It offers you to pause and feel where you are truly drawn, without pressure or haste. Now, let's go through the key dates of the month in detail. On March 2, Mars changes sign and enters Pisces, where it will remain until April 9. For Capricorns, this activates the third house. The energy of action becomes less straightforward. Scattered thoughts, emotional sensitivity, and fatigue from informational noise are possible. It is important not to demand your previous speed from yourself. Mars in Pisces teaches acting gently, intuitively, and carefully, especially in communication. On March 3, a lunar eclipse occurs in Virgo, affecting the 9th house of Capricorns. This is a powerful point of completion in the area of worldview, plans for the future, and life reference points. Doubts about previous beliefs or the feeling that the old path no longer fits are possible. On eclipse days, sharp decisions should be avoided. It is better to observe and record which topics require closure. On March 5th, a harmonious trine forms between the Sun and Jupiter. After the tension of the eclipse, a sense of support and inner relief appears. This is a day when you may feel that everything happening has meaning, even if it is not yet fully clear. Inspiring conversations or good news are possible. On March 6, Venus enters Aries and remains there until March 30. For Capricorns, the 4th house is activated. The need for warmth, emotional closeness, and protection of your space increases. In relationships with loved ones, flashes of emotion are possible, as well as moments of sincerity and closeness. It is a good time to create comfort and strengthen emotional connections. On March 7, the Sun conjuncts retrograde Mercury. This is a day when the past seems to gently knock at the door. In life, this may manifest in different ways. Someone you haven't contacted for a long time may write to you. An old topic, conversation, or thought to which you return not for the first time may resurface. Sometimes it looks like an internal dialogue with yourself, when you suddenly clearly understand why you once made a particular decision. On this day, it is not worth rushing to conclusions and final answers. This is a time not for action, but for insights. It is useful to reread old notes, review plans, and return to ideas that were previously postponed. You are collecting the missing pieces of the puzzle to see a fuller picture. On March 8th, Venus conjuncts Neptune, and there is also a tense aspect of the black moon to the karmic nodes. This is one of the most subtle and emotionally rich days of the month. Feelings become deep but easily slipping. In life, this may manifest as strong infatuation, idealization of a partner or situation, and the desire to believe in the best, even if reality sends conflicting signals. You may feel inspiration, romantic mood, and a need for closeness and understanding. This is a wonderful day for creativity, music, art, heartfelt conversations, and confessions. But in practical matters, special attention is required. Do not take on financial obligations, give promises, or make decisions that require cold calculation. This day teaches you to distinguish intuition from illusions. On March 9, a trine forms between retrograde Mercury and Jupiter, helping connect the past with the future. In life, this often feels like a moment of clarity. You may hear a phrase, read a text, or receive advice that unexpectedly puts everything in place. You may understand why previous experiences were necessary, even if they were difficult. It is a good time for learning, reading, planning, and philosophical reflection. This is a day when thoughts become broader and your perspective on the situation more mature. You begin to see not only the problem, but its meaning. On March 13, Mars conjuncts the North Karmic lunar node. This is a day when events may feel fateful. In life, this may manifest through a conversation, decision, or situation that seems to push you to take a step forward, even if there is resistance inside. Sometimes this is a choice that can no longer be postponed. Sometimes it is a meeting or information that changes the direction of thoughts. Tension on this day is natural, but it does not destroy. It shows a point of growth. Everything that begins now has long-term significance and affects your further path. From March 14 to 16, a tense node of aspects forms involving Mars, Mercury, and the black moon. This is a period when the nervous system becomes more sensitive. In life, this may manifest as irritability, fatigue, the feeling that you are not heard or misunderstood. Sharp words, impulsive reactions, and a desire to control everything are possible. It is very important during these days to slow down. Do not enter conflicts, do not prove your point, and do not make decisions on emotion. The best thing you can do is give yourself more space, rest, and silence. These days pass more easily if you lower demands on yourself and others. On March 19, a new moon occurs in Pisces. For Capricorns, this is a new point in the third house. In life, this may feel like a desire to think, speak, and interact with the world in a new way. You may want to change your communication style, become gentler with yourself, and stop constantly criticizing your thoughts and decisions. It is a good moment to start learning, journaling, and working with your thinking. Everything you lay now on the level of words, intentions, and inner settings will gradually change your reality. On March 20, the Sun enters Aries. The day of the vernal equinox comes, and the astrological new year begins. For Capricorns, the fourth house is activated. In life, this often feels like a need to strengthen your rear. It is important to feel that you have a place where you can relax, recover, and be yourself. This is a good time for family conversations, creating comfort, and reviewing life foundations. A new cycle begins not with external actions, but from the internal feeling of security. On March 21, Mercury goes direct. After weeks of internal analysis, clarity appears. In life, this manifests as easier communication, decision-making, and expressing your thoughts. What previously seemed confusing begins to clear up. A good moment to return to postponed conversations, documents, and plans. On March 22, the Sun conjuncts Neptune, enhancing intuition and sensitivity. In life, this may be a day when you feel the moods of others and your inner states especially sharply. It is good to engage in creativity. Listen to music, write, draw, or just be in silence. But in practical and financial matters, it is important not to rush. This is a day for the soul, not for calculation. On March 25, the Sun conjuncts Saturn, becoming a key moment of the month for Capricorns. In life, this feels like inner composure and clarity. You clearly see what you can take on and what you are no longer ready to carry. This is a good day for mature decisions, prioritizing, and strengthening boundaries. You act not out of fear or pressure, but out of understanding your real possibilities. On March 30, Venus enters Taurus. By the end of the month, a sense of stability and appreciation for simple joys returns. You begin to value comfort, bodily well-being, and calm pleasures more. This may manifest as a desire to take care of your body, improve daily life, and create a more pleasant and reliable everyday environment. Relationships become more stable, and enjoyment is deeper and calmer. March teaches Capricorns the important art of stopping without guilt. You begin to hear yourself better, respect your limits, and build life not from tension but from inner support. You learn to let go of what no longer serves and treat your resources carefully. By the end of the month, a sense of calm and composure comes. Even if the external world remains unstable, inside, there is a point of balance. You feel that you can move forward without rush, but with a clear understanding of yourself and your path. I hope that my forecast on the Astrology Path channel helped you better understand what lies behind the events of the month and make more conscious decisions. If this analysis was useful for you, support the channel by subscribing. This helps us continue making deep and honest astrological analyses. Write in the comments how March is going for you and which topics resonate with you now. Your experience is important and can be useful for others. Follow the new forecasts to see what is happening clearly and use the month's energies wisely. I look forward to seeing you in the next episodes to continue analyzing events and understanding their meaning.